This is Geometry Lesson 10.6. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to calculate the volume of a sphere. So, the volume formula for a sphere starts with V equals, traditionally we would see 4/3 pi, but I'm just going to go 4 times pi. I'll put the third at the end. 4 times pi times the radius to the power of 3 divided by 3. So 4 times pi times the radius cubed divided by 3. The surface area of a sphere, we'll say S equals 4 times pi times radius squared. So each of these formulas only requires one variable that you have to input, and that is the radius. So if you know the radius, you can calculate the volume, and you can calculate the surface area. First example says find the volume and surface area of a sphere whose radius is 6 centimeters. So to find the volume, I will do 4 times pi times the radius, which in this case is 6, to the power of 3 divided by 3. And I get 904.8 cubic centimeters. The surface area is 4 times pi times the radius to the power of 2. And I get 452.4 square centimeters. The next example is a composite figure. It has a cone at the top, a cylinder in the middle, and a hemisphere, which is half a sphere, at the bottom. So I will need to calculate each of those three pieces and then add them together to get my final answer. So we need to recall the volume of a cone formula from lesson 10.3, and that was pi times the radius to the power of 2 times the height divided by 3. So I know that the radius is 6 because if I look at the bottom hemisphere, if the radius is drawn right here, I guess the height, if you want to look at it as the height, is 6, but this whole segment rotates over because the radius is the same. So the radius for both the cone and the cylinder and the hemisphere, they're all 6. Okay, so I can type that out. Pi times 6 squared times 6 divided by 3, and I get 226.2 cubic centimeters. This is the cylinder. Cylinder is my formula from 10.2, pi times the radius squared times the height. We don't divide by 3 on a cylinder. And I get 678.6. The bottom piece of my figure is a hemisphere. And that was this formula from above for a sphere, but because it's half of the shape, I'm going to also divide that answer by 2. So that is 4 times pi times the radius to the power of 3 divided by 3, and also divided by 2. And I get 452.4 cubic centimeters. So the question is to find the volume of this entire solid. I'm going to add these three answers together. So 226.2 plus 678.6 plus 452.4 equals 1,357.2 cubic centimeters. Make you full-sized, and we'll give you a little 3. The final example says find the surface area of a sphere whose volume is 12,348 pi cubic meters. So we'll have to take this volume, work our way backwards through the volume formula to find the radius, and then apply the radius in the surface area formula. So you have the formula up above. I am going to type it out so that I can see it on the screen at the same time. Totally could have copied and pasted there, but that's okay. Volume is pi r cubed over 3. So if I am undoing this formula, we talked about what do we have, and we do the opposite of everything. So my formula started with a 4, so I'm going to divide by a 4. Next I have a times pi, so I will divide by a pi. I have a times radius cubed, but radius is what we're solving for, so we are going to skip the one that we're solving for. And then I have a divide by 3, so I will multiply by 3. This solves for the piece that I skipped. This solves for radius cubed. So 12,348 pi over 4 over pi times 3 gives me 9,261. So I need to undo a cube, and I do that with a cube root. So the cube root of 9,261 is 21. The radius is 21 meters. Now I'm going to apply 21 meters in my surface area formula, and let's take the quick way out on this one. So that will be 4 times pi times my radius squared. And I get 5,541.8 meters. If we wanted to leave this in pi units, I could say 1764 pi meters. Let's make you full-sized. That is it for the notes. You can go on to the exercises, and as always, please let me know if you have any questions. Good luck!